Hi, welcome to Nanny's Country Treasures. If you're new here and you haven't seen me before, I'm Joanna and I am glad you stopped by. So this is Saturday, so that means it is Sew It Saturday. And that is a series that I am teaching on my channel to teach you how to use a sewing machine. I've had people ask me, and I'm better with one-on-one, so this is more like being one-on-one. And plus, you can rewind me and, all that. If you can't get it, just rewind me. But anyways, I'm sorry about the lighting in here. It is dark outside. It has been raining for like 2 days, and it looks really depressing out there. But anyways, this is the day the Lord hath made, and I will rejoice and be glad in it, right? Right. My shirt. Let me show you my shirt. It says, sew in a Grinch mood. I made this last year or the year before. It may have been longer now. I have no sense of time sometimes. But if you look in this ball, not trying to show myself. Do you see that right there? That is this, y'all. That's why I love my silhouette more than than my Cricut. But anyways, I made this and put you seen. But anyways, it's neat. I love it. But anyway, I just had to show you my shirt. So things that you need. Let's jump right on into this because I want to talk about what you need and then possibly do a small project that you can use as a gift. It was one of my big sellers. So we'll get to that hopefully. Let me get started. I gotta shut up. Okay, let's go. First thing you need is the obvious. You need a machine. I've been working with the Janome and I have one linked in my description. Anything that I'm using, I will try to link in my description. I got the Janome. It's a basic machine. Then I have this one. You can get a digital machine where all you do is push buttons for your stitches. Now some of them you have to push up. They're more complicated, and I gave one to my daughter, and it's kind of complicated. But anyway, you're gonna need a machine. Then you're going to need something to put your machine on. You're going to need a good desk or a table. A lot of people sew in their dining rooms. They take over and they have their sewing machine on their kitchen table, their dining room table, If you can get away with it, go ahead. You can use a desk. You can use a table. Y'all, for a little while, I'm not even going to lie, I was in my mudroom and it was a little space. And at one point, I had one of those little fold-out tables, the little wooden ones, TV tray-like deals, whatever. I had that with my sewing machine on it. I had no room whatsoever, but I was able to sew. But it was temporary. Trust me, it was temporary. But you can't even use those TV trays or whatever you call those little wooden pull-out trays. They're little wooden whatever. You can also use those for ironing boards when you're by your machine. But that's another story, too. I'm off track like squirrel. I'm just bad. I'm so sorry, y'all. This is not supposed to be a comedy video. It is what it is. But you need your machine, your desk, or your table. Then once you get your machine set up and you learn about it, you're going to need the basics. You will need needles. My favorite needles are size 12. Because when you do basic sewing, size 12, size 14, they work the best. These are Schmidt's, I think. But anyways, I buy these at Walmart or craft stores anywhere. I get them online. They're size 12 universal needles. But I also buy these orange, which are organ needles. And I buy these online. And this is a ballpoint needle. And you'll need it for a different thing. I'll explain later. But I have different size needles. And I keep them in a case like this. Because when I'm sewing and I put labels on the underside, just yard sale stickers, y'all, just whatever. And that's where my needles are. So when I'm working and I'm changing my needles out, this makes it easier for me. I'm all about convenience and easiness as opposed to this other mumbo jumbo garbage. You're going to need just hand needles. These are good for sewing on buttons or tacking or something like that. Straight pins. These are linked in my Amazon store. These are some of the ones that I like the most. Ouch. They are very, very sharp and very, very long. These are good for your patterns. I hope that y'all can see that. Those are good to pin patterns and stuff like that, but they're very thin. You can sew over them with your sewing machine. People don't like to do it, but y'all can do it. So those are in there. I have pins in my pin cushion, which you will need a pin cushion. But this pin caddy I made, and I love it because it holds my stuff. It holds these pins. These are some of my favorites. They're the same, but they're just white. They're glass head pins. You can iron over glass head pins. These I use for patterns, and because they're flat, they work very well for pinning down patterns. You can get these on Amazon, craft stores, Hobby Lobby sells them. And then I have different sections on here. So you're going to need pins. With pins, you're going to need a pin cushion. So this one is also a good one. It's magnetic. And it holds your pins. I don't like it because it doesn't sharpen my pins, but it'll hold your pins. That's the one I use to travel with in my travel kit. So you're going to need bobbins that fit your machine. You can use plastic bobbins. These are 2 plastic bobbins. And most machines take a class 15 bobbin. You can also get them in metal, which is what I prefer. I prefer metal bobbins. And this, I'll have linked. I love this. I use it for traveling. It can be squished in my little case or whatever. But anyway, this is my travel thing, and these are really nice to hold your bobbins. They just pop in, pop out. Now, your older machines, some of the newer ones maybe even, I don't know, take a class 66 bobbin. This is what my old ones take. It's the same size around, but you'll see that this one will fit right inside that one. This one's flatter than this one. So you got to know the right bobbin for your machine. That's very important. You will have to have thread. You'll have to have thread. Good thread is important. You have to know what thread to use. Cheap thread will break. It will mess up your machine. Some machines won't even sew with cheap thread. Thread was on sale. Any sewing notions at Hobby Lobby go on sale once a month. It's usually the last week of the month. And any of their Sewology you can get, and they're not bad. I like their thread. So this was $4.49, and it's 100% polyester. It's 500 yards, and I got it for 50% off. And then I got the little one, which is 250 yards, and they're $2.99, and I got it for 50% off. So I buy a lot of thread at Hobby Lobby. It's all-purpose thread. That's what you need, all-purpose thread. And I get it there. I bought this one, Coates & Clark, at Walmart. I don't know why I needed so much red. I need a certain color red to do something, so I had to have the right one. Make sure when you're buying thread, you do not buy serger thread. Serger thread is thinner and it will break, and it's totally different than that. There's upholstery threads, there's hand quilting threads, there's quilting threads, which are thicker, and you need an all-purpose thread. Then you're going to need your fabric. Most fabric is cotton. This is what most people sew with cotton. These are fat quarters from Walmart. They go from somewhere around $1 to up. You can buy these at fabric stores. Joann's has a lot, but they're a lot. There's a lot more to choose from, but they're more expensive. But it depends on what you want. But fat quarters, this is just cotton, and it's an 18 by 21 piece, so it's a pretty good piece to work with. There are flannels that are cotton. They just require the same basic needle, universal needle, basic stitches. You're going to need a good pair of scissors. I recommend these for starting out. They're easy to use. They're short to help you get your around your patterns and things like that, I will have this linked definitely in my description box. This pair of scissors is linked with this little pair of scissors, which come in handy sometimes. And they have this pair of snippers, which you need a good pair of snippers. These are excellent snippers. I know that Hobby Lobby has a kit with these in it. But you need a good pair of snippers because they're nice to have at your machine to snip your threads, and when you're done with your projects, you have all these little threads sticking up, and it's easier to just snip and clip than to try to get big old scissors and cut them. So you're gonna need scissors and snippers. These are fabric scissors. These are paper scissors, okay? This is important, and y'all, growing up, my kids knew, don't go in my room and touch my scissors. When you cut paper with fabric scissors, they won't cut fabric anymore. Some fabrics you cut with fabric scissors, they won't cut anymore. Most fabrics is good, but you need a good pair, or just a cheap. Dollar Tree actually sells a good pair of scissors to cut patterns out. Sometimes I like to use the child scissors because they're short and it's easier to clip, to do. But you can get your scissors at the Dollar Tree for your paper. Don't use your craft scissors or your fabric scissors. Anyway, I have like 50 pairs of scissors. I know this. Trust me. You're going to need scissors and snippers. You're going to need a good seam ripper. This will be your best friend. You know what I'm saying? You're going to make mistakes. I make mistakes, and I've been sewing for 20-something years. I make mistakes. When I got this out, don't talk to me because I'm probably mad. But anyway, this is a good one. It's a Clover, and it's very sharp. And you want a sharp seam ripper because there's nothing any worse than you trying to rip your seam out and you rip your whole project and it happens. And then you really want to talk about being mad. You know what I'm saying? This is a good one too. And I like this because it has this rubber thing, which is a stitch eraser. I mean, well, kind of like that, but you rub it down and it pulls out your threads for you, so you're not picking. And I love this one. You can buy it at Joann's. They're quite pricey, but you can use a coupon. But anyways, you can buy those at Joann's. So you need a good seam ripper that's sharp. You're gonna need a good chair. I'm looking down because I have a list here, so I'm not just like ignoring you. I have a list. You're gonna need a good chair because you're gonna be sewing and you want to be comfortable. And a good height for your machine and everything is this right here. Your arms right out in front of you, gliding your fabric. You don't want to be up here. You're straining your shoulders and your arms. You want to make sure you have good back support on your chair. I don't prefer backs on my chairs when I'm sewing, and that's because if you're really doing something like I'm fixing to sew a little dress for my granddaughter, and I'm going to be up and down, and I don't have much room in here, and I don't want the back of the chair swinging around, it's easier for me to have just a little, I took the back off of a rolly office chair, and that's what I use. That's what I prefer to sew on. And so you need a good chair. You need a good chair. You're going to need an iron to iron your fabric, and I recommend this one. If I don't use it, I don't know about it, okay? That's why I'm specific about these Clover seam rippers. I use them, they're sharp, and I know about them. This iron I have had for a few years, and I absolutely love it. It's a Beautural, I think is how you pronounce it. I'm not sure. But anyways, it's a digital. It is a good steam. You want good steam when you're sewing. It's got good steam. It's digital. It's auto shut off, which is good for me that can't remember anything. So you need an iron. You can buy a cheap basic iron if you're just starting out and don't want to spend a lot of money or invest a lot of money yet. You're going to need a surface to iron on. This I showed in a video. This is just a piece of plywood that we had in the shed. And I went to Joann's and I bought this ironing surface. And I just turned it over. And I put aluminum foil down. And then put this on top. But this just is a big surface where I can lay wide yards of fabric and iron them. You don't have to have this. You can use a regular ironing board. This is just what I like, and it sits on a dresser, and I've got patterns and storage in the dresser. So it's all handy dandy right here. If you don't have a lot of room, I recommend this. These are good little ironing boards, especially for your fat quarters. And I do pop it on the table sometimes. But it has legs, front and back. You just pop them out and it sits on your table. And then it has a hook back here where you can hang it on the wall, the door, or wherever. I like this little ironing board and I do use it sometimes. So you're going to need an iron and an ironing surface. Okay? You can use, if you're going to do little projects, you can use the Cricut mat or a wool mat or anything just to do your ironing. And then you're going to need a pattern, of course. Some tutorials you find online will give you measurements, and that's fine. I like patterns. You can download patterns from online and print them and cut them out. I like to trace all my patterns on tracing paper, and I buy this on Amazon. I'll show you what this is later. But anyways, I printed this and then drew it on here, traced it on there, and made my own pattern. You can buy patterns. This actually came from Walmart, and they still have patterns. A lot of times, I like to watch the Hobby Lobby app. I have their app, and they'll have patterns on sale sometimes. Joann's has patterns on sale. So that's things that you need. Now, what you might want is a rotary cutter. Your basic one that most people use is a 45, which is bigger. Obviously, you can tell it's bigger. These are nice. I use this one when I'm sewing. Then you have the Dollar Tree one. Y'all, this is not a bad rotary cutter, honestly. You push in, pull down to expose your blade. It rolls great. It's easy to change the blades out. It has a grip right here, depends on if you're left or right-handed. This is a good roller. I get my cutters, my 45 degree, you get a pack of 2, and these are called carpet cutter blades, and I get those at Harbor Freight. I also have them linked in my description, but I get these at Harbor Freight. There's 2 in a pack, and they're very cheap. I buy the blades for the smaller rotary cutter. You can find these on Amazon, but I buy them at Hobby Lobby when they have these in the section where the vinyl and stuff like that is, where the cutters are there. They have them on sale there sometimes, and they also have them on sale in the sewing. They're the sewing notions, and I buy them when they're on sale at Hobby Lobby, and that's for the little ones. You're going to want a self-healing mat. You can use your rotary cutter to cut on your mat. It has rulers on it. You've seen mine before in my crafting videos. These to me are one of my major necessities when I'm sewing. I have one linked. You need a self-healing. You don't want to put heat on these because they will warp, but I will have one linked. And with those, I'll just go ahead and say, you don't have to have these, but I do, because I have more room to get my fingers out of the way. When you're rolling this rotary cutter, y'all, it is a scary thing. If that thing goes across this, what are you cutting? Your finger. I'm a chicken. Maybe you can call me a chicken. Maybe it's just that I love my fingers. So, I use a thicker one to have more room. And, a lot of times, This is another one. I bought that one. I've had it for years. Hobby Lobby. I bought this at Walmart. It's an Omni-Grid. I bought this at Walmart. They used to have them in the shower section at Walmart. Some Walmarts have them, some don't. But they just lift up, and they have a suction. And I can pop this off of this one and put it on that one. And I have a place where my hand is, which is less likely to catch my little fingers. So that's an idea of something you may want. To me, I think these are a necessity, but these might be a want, and it is a needle inserter and a threader. It has a flat side where you know where your needle is. I have shown these several times. That's a good thing to have in your arsenal. You might want a lint roller. This is handy for getting out threads also, and plus some things that you sew have a lot of fuzz and lint. So this is a good thing to have. A water bottle. Y'all, I don't care how much steam your iron has. Sometimes if you let fabric sit for a long time and it's wrinkled, you ain't going to get them out unless you squirt it with water first and then iron. This came from Walmart. Any water bottle will work. Spray bottle. You'll need a water bottle for your iron. And I will tell you, these irons, I have ruined several. Not this one, just different irons. This is made for tap water from your faucet, okay? They've already built this and designed this to use with tap water. Any other water will tear up your iron. You need tap water. So I have an empty water bottle that I fill up at my sink and bring in here so that I can just pour it in my iron. You'll want a sewing box or sewing storage for your gadgets and everything. And y'all, I have an awesome one in my description on my Amazon store. My daughter has it, and it is big. It's got drawers, shelves. It comes apart. It's nice. That's all I'm going to say is nice. So check that out if you want to. But you need something to put your sewing things in. I use my old treadle. It has 3 drawers on each side, and it's just here, so I use it. Before, I have used the Walmart rolly carts, and I had organization in the rolly cart, and that's where I've had thread, needles, everything I needed, especially when I had the little TV tray. You got to use what you got sometimes, you know, utilize things. A good desk with drawers on it is really, really good. If you can get your hands on a sewing desk, yay, hurrah for you. That's a good deal. I have one, but I don't have it in here because I don't have room. But any desk that has drawers or is good for putting your stuff in. A way to store your thread is one of these, and they do have little things, and it stands up on a table, but I never stood it up on a table because I really didn't have room. I took the back and I screwed little hooks in the back right here, and I took this off recently because I have a pegboard, and that's what holds all my thread. But these are nice to have if you just have a little bit of thread, or that box that I was recommending has thread storage and already thread in it. It's a whole complete kit, y'all. It's awesome. I want one, and I don't even need it. But anyways, this is a good option. They have this at Walmart for $9.97, so about $10. I will tell you, you can find them on Amazon, but they're a whole lot cheaper at Walmart, okay? $10. It's a June Taylor. They have them at most Walmarts that have sewing stuff. And then Hobby Lobby used to have them, but when I searched, all I could find are these. Let me see. I want you to see this. You cannot see this. Okay, there it is. It's sideways. Do you see that? I finally got it. Anyways, those are thread racks. The one with the machine, they screw in your wall, and it is on sale right now. So today is the last day of that sale, and then every last week of the thing, it's on sale for $5.99. And then the bobbin one, it is on sale for $9.99. So those are options that you can have for thread storage, and I just wanted to let you know. So now I'm going to clear all this off and get ready for the project, okay? So I'll be right back. well, let me keep this over here. Okay, for this project, this is easy peasy, but you're not sewing straight this time. You're going to be sewing in a circle motion, okay? So we're done with the straightness for right now. So you'll need a fat quarter or any piece of material. I use fat quarters. You can get these at Walmart. They're relatively inexpensive. This one's just for a little girl. I hope you can see at this angle. I'm trying something different. I don't even know. But anyways, I'm trying to hurry. I got a thing to do at the church, and but I really wanted to show you something. This is a towel. I buy these from Walmart. They're really super soft, and I usually buy a towel. They're inexpensive, and I buy them to match this fabric. You can use this color, this color, this color, this color, just plain white, whatever. And you're going to need your pattern. We are going to be making a fat quarter burpee. Now, I have sold a butt ton of these burpees, y'all, seriously, and people love them. So I'm going to show you how to make them. They make awesome gifts. If you want to sell them, hey, more power to you, honey. Go ahead. But I'm just saying, this is how I've always done it. I want to show you my favorite towel from Walmart because I'm not doing that one, but I'm going to show you my favorite towel. These with this ripple effect, I think these are $3.97. I'm not sure. They're mainstays. My son-in-law loves this towel. They are very absorbent, and this is just one of my faves. Okay, so we're gonna get rid of that. Okay, so you're gonna take your towel, and this one's already been used. You have a more fluffy side, and then you have a rougher side. I like the more fluffy side, which is softer toward the baby's skin. Okay, so you can tell here. So, but here I've cut it off. You can actually leave this on for decorativeness. So I'm going to do it that way and show you what it's going to look like, okay? So, you take your softer side. You're going to want it up. You want to make sure there's no lint in your way. Of course, this is a towel. They need to be pre-washed, y'all, okay? Cotton fabrics need to be pre-washed, because what will happen is if you do this project and they wash it and you do not wash these fabrics first, they need to be washed, dried, and ironed, then their burp rag is just going to wrinkle up, and it's going to be a total mess. Just saying. I am going to cut these out at the same time, okay? This just makes it easier to get your stuff lined. Okay, I'm on the front side. So what I'm going to do is they have to be right sides together because we're going to flip them inside out. So you want to take a lot of times you have trouble because your fat quarters are the same, are a lot of them the same that have prints on them. They're going sideways, which is the short ways. So a lot of your patterns do not fit these gorgeous little fat quarters. So that's why I made this fat quarter pattern, and I'm going to share it with y'all if I can get it in my blog. I'll link it on my Facebook page. If you're not on my Facebook group, you really need to be on my Facebook group. It's just started, so don't be alarmed at the people that aren't there. But you got to start somewhere, right? So anyways, take your fat quarter. It's new. It's wider. I made it wider. It's awesome. Just take your pattern, and I'm not even going to joke. A lot of times I will take this and I will spray. Let me show you. This stuff is like expensive. 505 basting spray. It's $12.99, and honey, you ain't gonna get it on sale, and there ain't no coupons anymore. You can use any basting spray, but I'll spray my pattern with basting spray, and I'll just stick it to it, and it won't go nowhere, and that's how I cut them out. But this one doesn't have basting spray on it. But that's just a tip if you want to do that. Now, you want to make sure your pattern is not on these edges because it's going to be hard to cut through that. You'll see in a minute. Make your fabric as straight as possible. so you don't have no wonky burp rag. Okay, my pattern's down. I hope y'all can see it. It's hard to see, I know, because it's white. I like these flat pins, and I'm just going to pin one here. And y'all, I made this so it like barely fits when you wash your burp rag. And then I'm going to pull it down, and I'm going to put one down here. My pins are super sharp from my pin cushion. I'm going to put one at every curve, okay? That just will hold it. Curves are sometimes wicked to cut. And you just want to make sure they don't go nowhere, or you're going to have a messed up project as well. So, now that I have that down, I'm going to take my scissors, and I cut to this edge. That's just what I'm comfortable with, so that's what I do. So, you can go over as far as you can and save your thing, or you can make something else. But anyway, I'm going to cut through there, and then I'm just going to cut my pattern out all the way around. I know, like I said, it's hard to see. My iron is warning me it's auto shutting off. I told you it's a good iron, y'all. I'm serious. Now, I like to have a smaller cutting thing area, because make sure you don't cut your pattern. I think I just snipped mine. Okay. This can go somewhere for right now. We ain't even got to worry with that. But we're going to go around and cut all this out. Do that in the floor. Okay, unpin your pattern, but leave your fabric the way it is as best you can. Now I'm going to swap around, and I am going to pin this just like it is. You want to make sure you put your pins on the corners. Some people pin this way. I can't do that because I want to know that my fabric is together where it's supposed to be and it's not shifting. Some fabric is more shifty than others. But anyway, I'm just going to put my pins in. You see me put one here. I'm going to skip this and put one here, because you're not going to sew this. You have to have a flipping room. You have to have some flipping room. Sorry, that's just my humor. That pin is bent. I'll deal with that later. So anyway, this is like tedious crapola that you gotta do. But you have to have it pinned, or it will, like I said, shift and you'll be wrong. So now we're going to take this over to the machine and sew it. Now, hopefully you can see this without me being in your way. I got my machine threaded and my bobbin color the same and strung through the back. So I hope I'm not yelling. I'm really close to this microphone. I'm sorry. I'll try to lower my voice. I'm loud anyway. So anyways, I'm just going to take my needle and I'm going to leave it in the middle. And I want a 3 to 4 length stitch. So it's just going to be a straight stitch. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go past this little pin right here, because you're leaving this open. And you're just going to sew, and you're going to keep your material on the edge of your presser foot. Okay? Actually, on this one, since I'm going to sew a different one, I am going to move my needle over here. Move it as far over to the left, and then keep your foot even with your fabric, okay? And you're just going to sew a straight stitch. You're going to sew, and then you're going to back stitch, and then you're going to sew around. Now, when you get to the corner, now I'm doing this at a weird angle so y'all can see me, but when you get to a corner, I use my hands to turn my fabric. You can slow down, but sometimes I find the faster I go, the better I am. So I am pulling this way and letting this guide through this way, but you're pulling at a certain way so that you can go around that curve. This is one of the first projects that I taught my girls, and I believe they all three know how to sew a burp rag. So if, like I said, if we can do it, you can do it. It's not that bad. Turn your needle up, pull it out, cut it off. You're done with that part. Now you want to take your pins out if you haven't already. Sometimes I will tell you, I'll leave a little, I have a magnetic dish I leave there, and I'll just throw my pins in the dish if I think I'm going to catch them, and then put them in this later. That's an option you can do if you want to. Okay, you're going to take your scissors and you're going to clip your curves. Do not clip. I'm going to snip my threads first. Do not clip your thread, okay? Make sure you do not clip your thread. And I'm hoping y'all can see me. The glare in this room is ridiculous today without my natural sunlight. You just want to snip, and this will help it turn easier without being so bulky. So you want to do this around every little curve. Just make snips. Make sure you do not go through your thread, because if you do, it will come apart, okay? And we don't want our projects, especially a gift to someone, to fall apart. That would be most tragic, you know? Okay, now we're gonna find our we're gonna find our little opening right here, and you're just gonna turn it in. I left my opening way too big for my liking, but if you can turn it in a smaller turn, go ahead. I was just doing this for your purpose because you're learning. Maybe you're learning. Maybe you know. I don't know. But anyway, y'all can get my hand all up in there. And you're just going to turn this out. Okay, what I like to do. My steam is on my iron. Okay. My steam is on. And I'm going to pull all these seams out. I'm going to make sure that it will automatically go in like this right here, which is what you want it to do. So this one automatically goes in. This one has a little trouble. So what you're going to do is you're going to push it into there and put a pin in there. These, you can't do any pins like this. This is a glass head pin. It will not melt in the iron, okay? It won't melt. These are linked in my store, but I love these pins. They are super duper nice. And I'm just going to put these here to hold this while I iron this. You want to iron this flat. And make sure that you have all your your seams in and pushed out as best you can. And we're going to go over to the ironing board and we're going to iron this flat. Okay, we're all steam ironed here. All right, and I will tell you, these towels leave a lot of lint and fuzz. So you want to make sure that you don't have any of that in your way when you are top stitching. So we're going to go and we are going to start. Leave your pins in here. You don't need pins anywhere else. You've done ironed it flat. We're just going to do our top stitching. So let's go do that. Okay, this is the importance of coordinating thread. Now I could have used white for my top stitch thread and the pink in my bobbin. That would have been fine, but I'm just going to do it in pink. It's no big deal. It matches, so it's fine. What you're going to do is you're going to put your fabric under here, and I like to start where my seam is open. That's just me. In case there's any shifting going on, it's not going on where I have this seam open. You know what I'm saying? So now I want this stitch in the middle. Okay, I moved it over to the middle, so it went from the left first to the middle. Now I'm going to do my top stitching. I'm going to make sure all my thread is pulled to the back. I am going to put my presser foot down. I'm keeping the fabric, not the towel, the fabric on the side of the presser foot. Okay, I'm just going to start, and you back stitch when you start and you back stitch when you stop. Right there, it's out. So I'll just tack that down. No big deal. And give it one quick iron, and you're done. Easy project for babies. Now, y'all, ain't these just the cutest? I do them in sets of 3 or sets of 5. But they are so nice. They're so soft. Like I said, you do have to wash your towel and your fabric first if you want them to turn out right. But I have this one. I have this one. And then I made this one. All 3 different. But they're so precious. Well, now wasn't that fun, y'all? It is such a cute little gift to give to someone that you know is going to have a baby. They are awesome gifts for baby showers, just to make when you need them. Like I said, my customers used to love these. I got requests for these all the time. I know you're going to ask, so I sold them at the time, which, you know, sometimes I still make them, not very often, but 3 for $15 or 5 for $20. That means you buy 5, you get 1 free. But anyways, that's what I sold them for, and I hope you like this video, and if you do, please remember to give me a thumbs up. That really helps my channel. If you want to see more videos or future videos, be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring that bell to be notified every time I upload a new video. With all that being said, I want to tell you that you are a blessing, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.